there, guys and gals. You're listening to the Tempest Universe. This is the Tempest Universe.
Snowmageddon cannot keep me down, but this internet can for some reason. It's weird because ever since this snow polar vortex nonsense started in Texas, like my internet is super slow. Actually, not just my internet, but also my cellular service. Like usually I get 4 to 5 bars. I'm like down to 1. What the hell is going on? Everybody's telling me it's HARP. It's a HARP situation. They're controlling the weather and they're screwing up with everything we have. And they're trying to hide something. I think I read an article one time that they only bring out the whole HARP situation when they're trying to block people from seeing the mothership. I don't know what that's about. I don't even know if HARP really exists. But one of these days, according to one of our Asgardians, Green Man, he says we need to have an episode where people just call in with all of their, conspiracy theories. Yeah, a conspiracy theory episode. I think he needs to lead the charge. I think he should actually run that episode, and I'll just sit back and enjoy it. Because the theories are crazy. They're all over the place. They're phenomenal. Don't forget that the only way the podcast continues to grow is if you like, share, subscribe, and do everything everywhere we're located. Because last week was, holy shit, I don't know what happened last week. There was a significant drop in the podcast stats. That might be HARP related. It might be the reason why it's so cold in Texas right now, to be honest. Because the fire is gone. Gone from the Tempest Universe. I don't know what's going on. In any case, I got another reminder for you guys. The contest is still going on. Literally, 10 days are left before 2 folks are going to win Avi Loeb's book, Extraterrestrial, The First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth. You've got to read this. We've got to know about what's going on in that dude's mind. Why does he insist to call Oumuamua a ancient alien probe of sorts? I want to know. I feel like I should get another book and do like a book club for those folks who don't win, and you guys can share it around. Send it, and everywhere the book lands, you can stick like a sticker on it of your state or city or whatever, and then pass it on to the next one. I don't know if it'll make it all the way around. I feel like eventually it'll just disappear somewhere. That's all I know. That's all I'm saying right there. So, but it's a thought. We'll see what happens. The book seems to, go out of off the shelves pretty quick from day to day. So people are reading it. People give 2 fucks about what he has to say. I don't see why not. We'll get into things like NASA and what I saw during the presentation today, leading up to Percy making a landing, which really made me mad and made me think about all the reasons why I hate NASA. Don't get me wrong. During the space shuttle days, I loved NASA. Before the space shuttle, gave no fucks about it. Because, that was maybe just out of the womb or something. But, I gave no fucks about it. But, space shuttle came around and it was like, geez, look at these fuckers. I mean, they must be amazing people. Not to say they're not. There's a lot of people that work for NASA. They're brainiacs. It's fucking rocketry, man. But still, some people that work for NASA should not be allowed to talk to children. Let me just put it that way. And we'll talk about what I'm talking about when we get to that article. The last thing is, I've kind of had it with Facebook. I was on Discord and I got a couple of suggestions about somewhere else to go because Facebook. What is wrong with Zuckerberg? What is he is constantly power tripping. It is so weird. Like people really give no fucks about it. Like he could literally cut off an entire country. why does he have an issue with Australia? Why have they been cut off? I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, seriously. Why does he have so much power over people and their social lives? Like, we should be able to say whatever the fuck we want to say. Print whatever you want to do. It just burns. It burns me. Every time I see an article and they've done a fact check on it. How the fuck we know your facts are right, Zuckerberg? I don't even know. You know, it's funny because you see him on these congressional hearings and stuff, and he looks so fucking clueless. He looks like Data from Star Trek, but still. He looks completely clueless about what they're asking. And always asking them to just give him a moment. Give me a couple days and I'll find out. No, you should know. Are you not running this company? Yeah, I don't know. I really haven't dug into what's going on between Facebook and the whole fucking country of Australia. I do see all these reports how they've blocked Australia from Facebook. Makes zero sense to me. But Australia, hold tight, because Elon's coming to rescue you. He's going to give you, for $99, he'll give you the internet and the world. It'll be, the world will be your oyster, even if you're in the outback somewhere, and you've got like clay paintings on your face, all painted all over your face, and you're in that what is that instrument? The didgeridoo, whatever it is. Even if you're playing that, you still get some badass internet from Elon Musk. I'm just saying, just hold tight. It's coming your way. We've got 4 articles, and actually, well, one of them is not an article. We're going to go revisit Asgardia because Igor at your belly. I like visiting his peoples, his nation, at least once a month, maybe every 6 weeks or so, because it's active. I swear to you that I never, in my mind, when I heard about what Igor was doing with Asgardia, being the first space nation, and all the plans to get all these people into space, and his idea that we were leaving all you fucked up humans behind, and we're going to take 150 million people, stick them in a space station, and protect the planet from threats. I thought that's why we have Space Force. I don't know what Igor's going to do. But a lot of people are not hip to that. There's a lot of you who might be new to the podcast, might be new to the topic in general, and you have no idea about Asgardia. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain what Asgardia is doing and how it's growing, because you literally have to stay on top of this or become a citizen of Asgardia to know. And no, you don't get a free hammer. Like, as soon as you put your name on a dotted line, you don't get, like, luxurious, long, blonde hair, especially if you're bald. If you're balding, you're balding. You'll just be an Asgardian. And you don't get the hammer. You get none of that. But what you do get is your own currency. You get, like, a membership card, that says you're a citizen. So we'll get into that towards the end of the podcast, because I don't know. I feel like with all the things that are happening in the world, Asgardia is growing, letting the world destroy itself while they sit back, and it's going to be a win for them. I hate to say it, but I think that Igor has the right idea. He really does. But we'll see, because we got questions that Asgardians were asking Igor on, I believe it was like the 3rd of February. And, they've got legitimate questions that they ask him. So he gives them answers. And, a lot of the answers are no fucks given answers, because he is the man in charge of his new space nation. So we'll get into that. Now, I did get a long distance request from the folks in Australia to give to Mr. Zuckerberg. This is to you, Facebook, from the guys and gals down under.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to redefine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity. an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck.
I think that song right there is probably why I don't have such a large audience. But right now, I probably gained like half the country of Australia, to be honest. Because it's true. Like, no one should give a shit about what he's doing. Come on, let's dump Facebook. Let's dump Twitter. Instagram, too, because they're attached to Facebook. Let's just dump it all. We just start our own shit. I mean, forget about all of them. They're just ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Percy on Mars. We have a Percy. Don't mistake what I just said for anything else, you perverts. Percy is there, and, I watched this broadcast, while I did my work, of course. I wasn't straying from my duties, as they say. But I was like watching it. I had it to the side, and most of it was really listening, because I couldn't really pay that much attention to it. But still, I feel like I am disgusted. I really am. Like, to see all these guys just be excited about this, $2.7 billion tin can just landing on there to look for ancient life. For fuck's sake. I don't understand why we really even give a damn anymore. It's just ridiculous. It really is. Now, I'm okay. Like, if you've been working on this thing for like 8 years, even though you copied, a lot of it from the previous rover, I can understand that you're excited, right? The damn thing traveled several million miles, actually a total of 293 million miles just to get to Mars, and then you sit on the edge of your seat because there's a period of 7 minutes that you don't even know if this $1 billion SUV actually landed. So it's all been answered, right? The damn thing landed. We're good to go. But it bothers me that NASA is still just holding on to this idea that there's a dead fucking planet. It just bugs me. You haven't done shit to figure that out yet. You really haven't. So what? You dug a couple holes, and then you went on there and started measuring whether or not there's earthquakes on there, which of course there were. So all of a sudden, some of the scientists that have to do with the seismographs, of course they're like, oh, it's not so dead. There's a volcanic activity somewhere, and we've got tectonic plates moving. A dead-ass fucking planet. It's pretty active. We're not going to get into everything that they've detected from space that's leaving, all the gas, kind of like bugs. All the gas that's up there, all that methane. We're not going to even talk about that because it's a dead planet. What really got me mad today was, I'm listening to this, and it did something really cool, right? If you didn't get to watch it because you had a long time on the shitter, or you had no power, or it was just a bad day. You didn't get to look at this, I understand, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to give you the play-by-play. So, they did have one cool thing, and that was a 360-degree camera. So you could look around, mission control and look at people. The funny thing is that even though that thing was 360, you couldn't see what the hell was on their screens. Very tricky of you, NASA. But anyway, they were doing this thing where they had school kids send in questions, and whoever was on, talking about whatever part of the mission they were talking about, they would say, hey, we got this question from a school kid, here you go. And it was almost like by surprise, though I don't think that's the way it was meant, but who knows. So there was one dude that was on there, a little creepy looking guy, and this little girl comes on the screen and says, hello sir, NASA, please, pretty please, can you answer this question for me? It's like, oh, she's so cute, look at this, she's all sciencey like. So she's like, is it possible that NASA's Percy will find life on Mars? And you could see his face. He was like, oh my God, he was just disgusted by it. And his first words out of his mouth was not like, oh, thank you for the question, little girl, let me just help you out with that. No, it was like, let's stick to the mission parameters. Really? That's how you're gonna squash this girl's lust for and open-mindedness for life somewhere else by telling her we are only looking for dead-ass evidence of microbial life from a million times years ago. Yeah, that really happened. I'm like, really? That's how you're gonna go with this? Yeah, at that point I really just wanted to shut it off, because the truth is that you have to wait till the damn thing lands, and maybe even a few hours before you get any images from it anyway. And I really wanted to see a video, because they said they were going to capture a video of the damn thing landing. Those 7 minutes of terror. They were going to capture that this time, because the damn thing has a bunch of cameras. But that hasn't been released yet, I don't think. I mean, I searched about an hour ago. Still haven't seen any. And it was funny because Nightmare from Florida, he was, while it was happening, he was messaging me through Instagram, and he was like, look at this shitty ass picture they sent. And really is that first picture that NASA put out, and he's like, it looks like it came from a Game Boy. Yeah. That's what we get for $2.7 billion fucking dollars. Images from a Game Boy. I don't understand the whole thing. And really, to tell some little kid that, shut the fuck up and listen to the mission parameters, that's messed up. That really is. I hope she wasn't watching it, trying to see if her question went through. But, that's what we're dealing with. They really just want to push their agenda, and their agenda only. And I have an article here, which apparently there's some people in NASA that think differently. But they're not there live. They're not interacting with the people. We just got these, These little Poindexters that look like trolls, that are squashing the hopes and dreams of little kids on national television. Hey, what the hell is that about? Seriously, it makes no sense to me. But anyway, the next 2 years, Percy is going to be looking for ancient life, because it really makes a difference to us, and I still don't get it. Why do we need to look for ancient life 2021 when apparently people are shooting to go into the late 2020s into early 2030s to land on Mars? Like, are they really going to give two fucks about stepping all over some dead ass fossil somewhere on Mars? No. It makes no sense to me. That's billions of dollars that were spent on nothing. And of course they've got this thing here. Here's a quote from them, and then we'll just get out of this article because I'm just about done with them. Here's a quote from Steve Jurczyk. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that name. It has more consonants and syllables. He says that this landing is one of those pivotal moments for NASA, the United States, and space exploration globally. When we know we are on the cusp of discovery and sharpening our pencils, that they do. That's why they have the pocket protectors. So to speak, to rewrite the textbooks. Okay, by the way, he is the acting NASA administrator at the moment. He says the Mars 2020 Percy mission embodies our nation's spirit of persevering, even in the most challenging of situations, inspiring and advancing science and exploration. I don't understand. How did they inspire anybody by spending $2.7 million fucking dollars on this tin can looking for shit that died a long time ago? I mean, that's the only way to really sum it up. I don't get it. But anyway, that's the way it goes. If you guys want to read more into it, the link from Fox News, as a matter of fact, is in the description. Check it out. And hell, I would say that I want to know what the NASA lovers think about this mission, but it's a waste of time. That's all I'm saying.
It's hard
one good thing that came out of watching that whole presentation today from NASA is that I've been saying that the name of the crater was Jezero because that's what it fucking reads. It's Jezero. That's what it says. That's the way it's spelled. But no, apparently it's Jezero. Really? Why is it so damn fancy? Why can't you just say Jezero? I mean, we could all relate to that, can't we? By the way, today's episode is brought to you by vodka. SpaceX Starships keeps exploding, but it's all part of Elon and his major plan to rule the world.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
It turns out that people still have issues with the what was going on with the starships. SN9, SN10, all that good stuff. Why are they blowing up? It's I don't know. I don't understand why people worry about this so much. It's in an area where people are told you could end up dead because we're about to screw around with this firecracker that's 15 stories tall. But, people are up in arms. They're up in arms about it. They're just, they're all worked up because they blow up. The one thing that we got to keep in mind, actually there's two things, and that is that SN Starship, whatever Starship version it's going to be, it will sit on top of a booster. This is not the full thingamabobby. This is not the full Roman candle, if you will. It's going to sit on top of a super heavy booster, which there's actually one out there that was put together recently, just sitting out there waiting for that to be tested. Could you imagine if a super heavy blows up? This is just ridiculous. I mean, people are just going to leave the country. But that's the first thing, right? So this, what you're seeing is the thing that's going to land on the moon. It's going to land on Mars, both of which do not have the same gravitational pull as our planet. So we're basically testing, well, not we, fuck, I'm just a bystander too. So Elon and SpaceX is testing this using the Earth's gravitational pull, right? So if they could land this, for fuck's sake, they'll land that shit anywhere. Because it's much easier, as far as gravity is concerned, to land it on the moon and on the Mars. But still, they have to calculate that eventually. But so it would be a magnificent win if they get the damn thing to land the right way on over in Boca Chica. Wouldn't that be fantastic? But people forget that. So they're all, the FAA is still screwing around. This is why we haven't seen anything else happen. So maybe in March, who knows? Maybe we'll see something happen then. I didn't even haven't seen if they even tried to, test it at all besides having hops. So who knows what's going on. One individual by the name of John Insprucker, he's the SpaceX Principal Integration Engineer. Whatever the fuck he does. I mean, what's his actual job? That's what I want to know. Great title, but what the fuck does he really do? He says, we had again another great flight up. No doubt about that. That is 2 thumbs up on that one. We just got to do some work on that landing a little bit. There's a lot of it there, actually. It's not even a little bit. There's a lot. It's like, because when you lose 2 starships back to back, there's a lot you got to do. But it's expected. These are experimental ships. These are experimental rocket candles. Or Roman candles, depending on what part of the country you are, or the world. But, apparently Elon's not taking this lightly. He's pretty fed up with the FAA. And he went to tweets. Apparently that's the way you communicate now. You don't, either you block an entire fucking country from getting information, or you take to Twitter and you curse somebody out. I'm going to start doing that. See how it works out for me. I bet you I'll get blocked by the Twitterverse. So it turns out that he's pissed off with the FAA, and he pretty much expressed it. And he says this: unlike its aircraft division, which is fine, the FAA Space Division has a fundamentally broken regulatory structure. He says the rules are meant for a handful of expendable launches per year from a few government facilities. Under those rules, humanity will never get to Mars. I don't know. I guess you got to break some to make some, according to Elon. And, you know, their way of making it is if it blows up, it blows up. Get the next one on. And we know this because there's a lot of SNs sitting in the background waiting to be tested. Like, if that was not his plan for, well, I can't say plan. If that was not his expectation that these things were going to blow up, he wouldn't have so many waiting in the wings. They're there for a reason. So there you go. But apparently some guy named David Todd, an analyst from Ceradata, a UK-based firm that likes to track rocket launches and satellites. Like, who the fuck has time for that? Why is that important that you track every single satellite and rocket launch? I don't know. How did he get that job? That's what I want to know. He says, pretty much, I'm very critical of SpaceX. No one gives two fucks about that. After it demonstrated that it had effectively become a law unto itself when it launched at the SN8 test flight. No. You know, again, this is where people from the outside who think that SpaceX is doing more damage than good. That's just the way it is. You know, you've got to test these things. They explode, they explode. What do you want to do? At least they're prepared. They're not suffering a setback like some of the other companies, which suffer a setback in their, you know, little trinket space vehicles, and then they're out of the game for like 6, 7, 8 months. You know who I'm talking about. We're not even going to say any names because that's just the way it is. But that's not happening here. The only setback they have right now is the FAA. They're the only ones who are fucking around. Apparently when Musk was over hanging out with Joe Rogan, because fuck, everybody does, right? On the 11th of February, he says, this is a test program. We expect it to explode. It would be weird if it didn't explode, frankly. If you want to get a payload to orbit, you have to run things close to the edge of insanity. But, you know, just as a, you know, a little public service, a little PR, it turns out that there's an article that came out a couple of days ago where SpaceX saved a significant amount of sea turtles. So, you know, that's a step in the right direction, right? You EPA people can back the fuck off now because the sea turtles have been saved. I don't know. You know, this program just needs... I just see... Like I said the last episode, when you look at all the different timelines, like initially, before Elon really started going full board and everybody's talking about going to Mars and the moon and all that kind of shit, there was a gap in between what NASA's timeline was and what Elon was saying. But now that gap is like huge. That is like, to quote the Trumpster, that's a huge gap. I mean, it's huge. Eventually we're going to know what the real timeline is, because right now I feel like NASA is moving further and further away from the timeline that Elon has to get to Mars and to, you know, to dabble a little bit on the moon. So I feel like we're going to be in for some shock and awe. Someone's going to put the brakes on Elon, and I feel it's going to be the government and NASA. So we'll see. But his original timeline is 4.2 far fucked, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, it could just be me from the outside looking in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's more to this article, especially from that dude David Todd, who has no fucking business talking about, you know, how impulsive SpaceX is. Shit, you try to run a $1 billion situation and try to fly some rockets over a part of the country where people don't want to leave their fucking retirement homes. See how impulsive you are then.
Man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. You just don't. Still selling false hope cause you just don't care. House, feel. If we talking to a uniform, who the real? You know we in the deep south, so let's keep it real. This is what they used to mob, lynch, drag, and kill. I never made the party cause I felt the paper bag. Gotta get this money cause you know I never had it. I'm feeling like Badu, the way I carry my baggage. This heavy load on my shoulders might turn me to a savage. Is that why I gotta fight to get respect? That's a shame, who's to blame? I don't know, but all I know is that we still rocking them chains. Still taking that wheel, still trying to get paid. Still trying to find God, still trying to act safe. Yeah. Put a youngin' on the corner, now he winning. By 27, he'll be dead or in prison shampoo. Yeah, these are all the terrible conditions that we bind and we put inside the minds of our children. Can't you see we in despair? Look around, we got crime everywhere. But you still sell false hope, cause you just don't care. No, you just don't care. No, you just don't care. You just don't care. You just don't. I hope my people can really go make a difference instead of being the people incarcerated in prisons. I never got caught for dealing a hole in a stolen pistol, so this one goes out to warrant my granted justice and crystal. Hold up, if you ain't adept, careful with your step. Get your soul in line, chasing after checks. If you ain't inclined to say what's on your mind, please don't throw your stones at me for speaking what's on mine. Man, I still don't feel that comfy in my own skin. It's hard to find your self-worth as a broken kid. These frames never held images of my own kin. That's why rap sheet the only place we fit it in. Yeah, you can go to court or you go on that court. You do 9 to 5 or you go play a sport. Can't represent the house if you out on that field. If you forget your place, you might turn to Emmett Till. Watch them legislate to execute my brothers that they kill. Got me talking about my problems as a way for me to heal. I went looking for a Beverly when I went to the hills, but I came back with a diamond and a couple dollar bills. Now they got me saying, oh yeah, don't you see we in despair? Got crime everywhere, dark clouds in the air. If you don't know the game, then they ain't playing fair. Still selling false hope to you cause they don't care.
I remember being so naive. Back when life was compared to good weather and palm trees. Back in those days, you were everything that I thought that I needed. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. You really played me for a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Cause you know they say, there's a thin line between love and hate.
Don't you see we in despair? Got crime everywhere, still selling false hope, but you just don't care. No, you just don't care. No, you just don't care. No, you just don't care.
This film contains adult language. There are 17 swear words carefully placed throughout. Kids, can you find them?
By the way, for you guys who are not following on Spreaker.com, there is an opportunity for you, of course, when the podcast goes live, to be on live and, have a chat with the Asgardians who are on there right now. So let's say hello to Green Man, The Norm, Drake from Corpus of the Christi, and I'm sure Davina was on for a little bit, so Davina, of course, and Pucky. I don't see Dave. I think Dave might have joined. I'm not really sure, but I know he was on there earlier. But by the way, that song was from Dave to Zuckerberg. So Zuckerberg, you go zuck it. We're tired of you trying to control our business. The next article has to do with the other side of NASA. The side of NASA that wants to find ET. Because they're not willing to go around breaking the hearts of little baby girls who have an interest in NASA and aliens. No. These guys are like, hey, little girl, come over to our side because we will find ET one day. As a matter of fact, we're thinking that aliens, not like the ones that the other dude, that perv-looking dude is looking for. We're thinking that aliens might be just as dirty as you are, putting out all kind of pollution. I mean, they find all kind of ways to to break the will of the people that follow them, I think. That's what NASA's doing. According to a paper that they're going to be publishing pretty soon, if there's intelligent beings out there, they must be causing a shitload of pollution just like we are, because what else would they be doing? That's what the new study says, that industrialized civilizations on worlds 4.2 far for you to even fucking find them may be just as bad at managing their pollution. Yeah. They might have some nasty ass atmosphere that they breathe in all the time, and that's why they've got no color in their skin, kind of like the Greys. Or maybe they're like the reptilians. They don't even breathe air. They just hang out on the water because they're amphibious. I don't know. This is what they come out with. It's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. That's just that's what they're publishing now. These are probably the guys that are out at the Kennedy Space Center, and they're about 20 floors underground in a broom closet, just hanging out writing these papers because they can't even associate with the rest of NASA that's above ground. I just don't get it. But, there might be some truth to it. If indeed, alien civilizations actually burn fossil fuel. But what if they've already gone past that, There's a bunch of Marty McFlys out there on hoverboards. Don't even use fossil fuel anymore. And it all depends on when you look, because you're still, if you're looking for planets with pollution, you're still looking possibly several billion years in the past. So how is that going to help anybody? I don't know. But it's a good paper, I guess. It's going to be published somewhere. There is the lead author for the paper says on Earth most of the nitrogen dioxide is emitted from human activity. Combustion processes such as vehicle emissions and fossil fuel power plants are the ones that are fucking up our atmosphere. So why wouldn't ET do the same thing? In the lower atmosphere, about 10 to 15 kilometers or around 6.2 to 9.3 miles, the nitrous oxide from human activity kind of dominates compared to non-human sources. Therefore, observing nitrous oxide on a habitable planet could potentially indicate the presence of an industrialized civilization. And again, is this a form of technosignature, which we hear about all the time? If they got technology, they've got to be doing something that we could determine as not being something that occurs naturally, kind of like that signal from Alpha Centauri, like 4 weeks ago, that no one seems to give any fucks about anymore. I'm telling you, I think if we find a planet that's polluted as hell, there's going to be an excuse. Something's going to be out. The guys that are at the top floor of NASA are going to shit all over the guys that are 20 floors below, and they will find a way to negate it. And that's why I think we have people like Avi Loeb coming out, because they're tired of it. They're not going to take this shit anymore. There's more to this paper. That was a really short news article. What the fuck else you got to do? You can't really... we could extrapolate how nasty an alien could be, but for fuck's sake, just wait till the paper is published and then read what the hell they have to say. And I'm sure none of it's going to make any kind of sense if you actually read the paper. So I'm glad that I was here to give you the Cliff Notes. Because we'll never know if there's an alien nation somewhere, or a race, or if there's reptilians, or those Nordics. If they're out there and are polluting their damn planet. Because by the time we figure that out, we'd be long gone. Just be honest about it. So let's just get the hell out of this article and see if we can bring a hurricane to town.
You seem to know something I and scars. I'll brush you off just like the dust upon my shoulder. I have a hunch of who you are. Believe it or not, I got the strength to blow you over. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way. Hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way. Hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way.
Like I said at the top of the podcast, I'd like to at least every 4 to 6 weeks visit Asgardia, not to be confused with the Asgardians of the Tempest universe. These guys are a little different. They've got a whole fucking nation going on. Asgardia was founded back, I believe, in 2016. They opened up the space nation, and the supreme being leader being Igor Asherbelly. Yeah, he's a scientist billionaire from, the European side of things. And he says, I'm going to take all you people with me. Just become citizens. Become citizens of my space nation. And, you get to have dual citizenship, right? But wherever the hell you are, you get to be part of that country. So if you're in South Africa, if you're in Australia, the UK, even if you're in Norway, you get to have dual citizenship with Asgardia, the space nation, because unfortunately, the plan to have a space station to put all these people into, excuse my mic slapping, it's not there yet. But there is a government, fully formed government now. I have a constitution. They got all this kind of paperwork you can look at online if you want to. And you can have an ID card that says, hey, I am also a citizen of Asgardia. Now what? Now what? That is a question that people are asking Igor Asherbelly actually on, I believe it was February the 3rd. And they have their own calendar too. So if you go to the link in the description, you see that you'll have the Asgardian calendar date. And then you also have the date that everybody else uses. February 3rd of 21. Theirs is PIS 605. Igor, come on. You've got to stop this. You just make it too easy to have fun with what you're promoting. You know what I'm saying? So there's 10 questions that apparently Igor has been putting aside. He didn't want to answer them. So we've got 10 of them, the top 10, that as of this month, Asgardians had that in mind, that they wanted the Grand Supreme Being to answer for them. So here's one. We're going to pick a couple. Actually, like to read. This is question number 2 on the list, if you're looking at it right now. What will Asgardia do to accommodate those who have little money, i.e., most people on Earth. And this came from the country of the United States, the state of Oregon. And actually, they put the guy's name on here. We just put the first name, Kaiser. Kaiser, you make great sandwiches. But still, Kaiser says, I'm poor as fuck. What are you going to do for me? What have you done for me lately, Igor? It's been 5 years now. Igor says this: Asgardia does not aim to attract the majority of the population of planet Earth. Our goal is to have 150 million Asgardians, which is about 2% of the current global population at the most. This is the vodka talking, by the way. This is stated in our constitution. Furthermore, we would perform positive selection. That is nothing to do with money. After all, even up until now, ever since the very beginning in 2016, registration of Asgardians has been free. Well, this is true though, but let's be honest about this, brother. Let's be honest about this, Igor, that Asgardians actually have to pay a tax. Believe it or not, you have to pay a tax to be an Asgardian. I don't know how much that is. I really haven't jumped into. I don't even know if they've actually put it out yet, to be honest. But we have to figure that out. But yeah, you have to pay a tax as a citizen of Asgardia. So I don't know what he's talking about. What happens if you can't afford your tax? You get kicked out? Are you excommunicated? Do you become an expat of the space nation? I don't know. This is really strange. But that's the way it goes. Now, somebody was questioning whether or not Igor should be part of political parties of other countries. I mean, let's be honest. You're starting your own fucking nation. Why would you be part of a political party of a different country? Things that make you go, Here's a question. You are the chairman. I'm sorry, they probably didn't have this. Oh, actually, whoa, this is a good one. You are the chairman of the political party of the Russian Renaissance Party, and at the same time, you are the head of Asgardian nation. How is it possible that the head of our country is the leader of a political party in another country? I mean, this guy, he's getting it from all sides, right? He's like, come on. This came from Valerie out of Puklihov, Russia. I'm sure I jacked that up, so you guys in the Russian Federation, please correct me. Igor says this, Asher Belly, that is. The Asgardian Constitution states that political parties are forbidden in Asgardia. Hashtag no fucks are given in Asgardia. However, no, stand back for a second. It does state that Asgardians have the right to participate in political life on those Earth countries where they physically reside. So basically, he'll do whatever the fuck he wants, is what he's saying. He's like, back the fuck off. If I want to be part of the Russian party, so what? I will kick you the fuck out of my nation, that's for sure. That is just crazy. To do as I do, blah, blah, blah. Say as I do, whatever. Whatever. You know how the fuck it goes. I don't know. I'm just not even there. There was another question here from Greg, Italian Switzerland, or Italian Greg says, what the fuck? Is there such a place as Italian Switzerland? I don't understand. But Greg, his freaking name's not even Italian, to be honest. It should be like Mario. So question number 6 is, or Luigi, is Asgardia LGBT friendly? That's a burning question, right? Because, we all want to be who we want to be. And this is what Igor says. When you became Asgardian, you are given the opportunity to choose your gender designation when you filled out your questionnaire. I mean, shit, is it really that easy? Sorry. This Igor voice is getting me. Male, female, or option other. About 2% of Asgardians choose the third option. Oh, Igor. You're such a classy guy. indicating that personal preference, including being LGBT. No, that's not what they selected. They selected other. That's more than 20,000 people in Asgardia. Everyone is equal, and Asgardia embraces each and every earthling. Oh, there you go. That's my Igor for tonight. Now, there's other questions on here. There's been 7 more, because people had all of these burning questions. And it's funny. I didn't even see this question, but there's actually someone from Norway asking if there were any Asgardians in Norway. Well, there you go. If you're in Norway right now, because I know I got listeners from Norway, but you also have dual citizenship with that Asgardia, not the Asgardians for the podcast. You can go in here and find out. And actually, I thought at one point, if you go on their website, you could actually see every goddamn citizen's name and what country they're from. So, question number 9, you're not even up on your Asgardia to be asking him that question, really. He should just kick you out. Just take your citizenship badge away, but still tax you for being stupid. That it is. Check out Asgardia. Now, there was a question in here also about funds, the currency of Asgardia. Because if you're going to have a space nation, you need space money. You're not going to be showing up with dollars and pesos. No, that doesn't work in Asgardia. Asgardia has the solar and digital currency, of course. And apparently they've gotten, as of maybe last week, they got into a deal to do the whole blockchain thing. Kind of like a Bitcoin with this blockchain called Quantum. So they're upping their game in their Asgardian currency, the solar. And actually you can buy solars at 1 solar is equal to 1 European dollar, or what is it? I don't know. What the hell is it? 1 European whatever. So there you go. That's where we're at right now. The Asgardian nation is hiding its progress because people really don't give no fucks. I mean, honestly, at the beginning, I really thought he was crazy as fuck, old Igor, but Igor's getting it together, man. We're going to be taken by surprise, and all of a sudden, we're going to hear about this space station that's coming together in orbit that's going to house about 150 million Asgardians. And that's a big-ass space station. So we're going to have some problems with that, playa. Space Force is going to be on your ice, Guardia. I'm just saying. We ain't going to take no shit. Thank you for listening. This is the end of the podcast. Don't forget to go in there, get into the contest, earn or win the book. You can earn more submissions by, doing your social media stuff. But I'm still mad. I'm still mad at Facebook. Feel like I need to evacuate. But, thanks to, I believe it was Green Man, who he mentioned a couple of other social media platforms. So now I'm on Minds. Pretty cool place. Kind of like even Steven right now. I'm sure eventually, about 5 years, Minds is going to be a mind probe. And it's going to be horrible, just like Facebook. But at the moment, it's pretty even. It's pretty easy go on Minds. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what turns out, what kind of crazy stuff I get into. But so far, so good. This is the end of the podcast. I will check you guys out next week. On Monday, we have The Norm. He's going to present his series called Nap Time. And then on Wednesday, what am I going to say Tuesday for? On Wednesday, we have a guest who will be coming on, and he will be explaining to us how he's been putting his alien contactee situation into art. I'm trying to really not. I want to be surprised just like you guys are. But he has a whole book out, and we'll be talking about that, and hopefully I'll get some of the images from that book to share. And the very final thing, with the whole Percy thing landing on Mars, the picture that I used for this particular episode is actually from the UAE Hope. That satellite that's up there that got there last week. That is the first picture they took of Mars. And for a dead planet, it looks pretty damn good. I'm just saying, can we all just get aboard on the same page? Ciao.
Yeah, know I'm sturdy like a Millie Rocket. Skin clear, still look young, Andy Miller knockers. Money in my pocket, don't call me a money pocket. Engine get to rocket, it sound like a thunder rocket. Yeah, I still love my baby even when it's toxic. Crazy like she Britney, but no, she don't shade a noggin. Russell Wilson way I get low and stay in the pocket. I get paid and do my dance like a touchdown. Yeah, I can't do no time, don't leave that gun around. In my teens, we were acting up and running around. Now we're grown, still get to it if it's necessary. On the ground from January to January. Never met nobody who retired when they were young. So I guess I gotta get it to the cemetery. Getting paid just for rapping is fun. I lit up around a month in every February. Told him side, no electric. It's getting hectic. 777. 777. Yeah. Told him slide, no electric. Yeah. It's getting hectic. 777. Yeah. 777. Couple of money in my head just to say they did it. Can't lie, I'm so paranoid and the windows tinted. I own everything around me, you can say it's rented. Not talking phone numbers when I'm talking 7 digits. Earn it by the day, every second minute. Used to pay me none, look, now they pay attention. Everybody say they drip, but I banded it. See them copy all the looks, but I stay switching. Pick up the loot, then hit the bank. Can't never change, still wrote the change. Captain say the pay, this ain't the day. They made me wait, I'm breaking chains. Yeah. Tell me feeling bubbly out the rose. Took a minute, but I got it out the soul way. Friends turn to foes, haters tell them go away. Rappers making shiggy dance like a soul train. Told them slide, no electric. Yeah, it's getting hectic. 777. 777. Yeah. Told them slide, no electric. Yeah, it's getting hectic. 777. Yeah. 777.